switch thoughts very soon. Those in the room.
One online and in the room. First, as usual, the number. In the past 24 hours, reported 329 cases, lost in more than a month. January, China has reported 28,959 cases of COVID-19 to WHO, including 2,791 deaths. Outside China, there are now 4,351 cases in 49 countries and 67 deaths. Since yesterday, Denmark, Estonia, Lithuania, Netherlands, and Nigeria have all reported their first cases. All these cases to Italy. 24 cases have been exported from Italy to countries and 90 cases exported from Iran to 11 countries. The continued increase is and the number of affected countries are clearly. Our epidemiologists have been monitoring these developments, and we have now increased of the risk of spread and the risk of impact of COVID-19 to very high at global level. What we see at the moment are linked epidemics of COVID-19 in several countries, but most cases can still be traced to known contacts or clusters of cases. We do not see evidence as yet that the virus is spreading freely in communities. As long as that's the case, we still have a chance of containing this virus if robust action is taken cases early, care for patients, and trace contacts. As I said yesterday, there are scenarios in different countries and different scenarios within the same country. The key to containing this virus is to break the chain of transmission. Yesterday, I spoke about the things countries must do to prepare for cases and prevent onward transmission. The report of the WHO-China Joint Mission has now published its report, available in English on the WHO website, and will also be posted in Chinese on the National Health Commission website. The report includes information and 22 recommendations for China, for affected and unaffected countries, for the international public. It calls for all countries to educate their populations, to expand surveillance, to find, isolate, and care for every case, to trace every contact, and to take an all of government and all of society approach. This is not a job for the health ministry alone. Work is also progressing on vaccines and therapeutics. More than 20 vaccines are in development globally, and several therapeutics are in clinical trials. We expect the first results in a few weeks. But we don't need to wait for vaccines and the therapeutics. There are things every individual can do to protect themselves and others today. Your risk depends on where you live, your age, general health. WHO can provide general guidance. You should also follow your national guidance and consult local health professionals. But there are 10 basic things that you should know. As we keep saying, clean your hands regularly with an alcohol-based hand rub or wash them with soap and water. Touching your face, touching contaminated surfaces is one of the ways the virus can be transmitted. By cleaning your hands, you can reduce your risk. Second, clean surfaces regularly with disinfectant. For example, kitchen benches and work desks. Third, educate yourself about COVID-19. Make sure your information comes from reliable sources. Your public health agency, the WHO website, or your local health professional. Everyone should know the symptoms. For most people, it starts with a fever and a dry cough, not a running. Most people will have mild disease and get better without needing any special care. Fourth, avoiding traveling if you have a fever or cough. Sick while on flight, inform your crew immediately. Once you get home, make contact with a health professional and tell them about where you have been. Fifth, if you cough or sneeze, do it in your sleeve or use a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately into a closed rubbish bin and then clean your hands. Six, if you're over 60 years old or if you have an underlying condition like cardiovascular disease, a respiratory condition or diabetes, you have a higher risk of developing severe. You may wish to take extra precaution to avoid crowded areas or places where you might interact with people who are sick. Seventh, for everyone, if you feel unwell, stay at home and call your doctor for local health professional or local health professional. He or she will ask some questions about your symptoms, where you have been and who you have had contact with. This will help to make sure you get the right advice, are directed to the right health facility, and will prevent you from infecting others. Eighth, if you're sick, stay at home and eat and sleep separately from your family. Use different utensils and cutlery to eat. Ninth, if you develop shortness of breath, call your doctor and seek care immediately. And 10th, it's normal and understandable to feel anxious, especially if you live in a country or community that has been affected. Find out what you can do in your community. Discuss how to stay safe with your workplace, school, or place of worship. Together, we're powerful. Containment starts with you. Our greatest enemy right now is not the virus itself. It's fear, rumors, and stigma. And our greatest assets are facts, reason, and solidarity. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tedros. With this, again, we will start in the room with 3 questions and will then go online. For those online, please, either with your coming from Zoom, click raise your hand on the display, or if you're dialing in by phone, *9 to flag your interest. And in the room, we'll start with Gabriela from Mexico. And please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Gabriela Sotomayor, Mexico Proceso. Dr. Tedros, Mexico just confirmed 2 cases of coronavirus related to Italy. My question is, what is your advice, and is there less risk in Mexico because of the weather? Because it's hot in Mexico right now, and it's the ending of the influenza season. And the importance, if you can clarify really to Mexican population, the importance or the difference between mitigation and containment. Thank you very much.
So thank you for the question. So we were talking a little bit about this yesterday, about the weather and if there's differences there. I mean, we need to think of this virus that it can transmit the same as it does in China, as it does in Mexico, and be ready for that. And the recommendations that we have for all countries are the same. And those recommendations are to expect cases, to identify them very quickly, to isolate them and care for them, identify their contacts and follow those contacts over 14 days to ensure that we take care of them and that we stop that onwards transmission. We're still only 7-8 weeks into this outbreak, into COVID-19 outbreak, and we're still learning a lot about the virus. Right now, there's no reason to think that this virus would act differently in different climate settings. We will have to see what happens as this progresses, but we need to be as vigilant as possible in all countries of the world.
And on the issue of containment versus mitigation, in public health terms, containment are the activities that are aimed at interrupting transmission. In other words, identifying cases, isolating cases, following contacts. You're trying to prevent the virus transmitting from one person to the other. So the measures that are taken are trying to break the chain of transmission. You're trying to contain the virus in that sense. Is when you accept that you cannot prevent the virus spreading, but what you do is mitigate the impact the virus has by treating patients, by doing everything possible to reduce the impact on the health system. But both of these strategies are necessary in many epidemics. What we've been saying, clearly containing the virus and interrupting opportunity to stop the virus, doing as you've seen in China, it's slowing the virus down. And allowing us to prepare to accept mitigation is the only is to accept stopped. And we've seen evidence this virus can be curbed.
Please, agents, please.
Shane from China Central Television is about the virus origin. There have been some opinions published by the scientists saying that they are not sure. Are they really from China or from some other part? There have been no clear evidence that this virus is. So my question is, are there any updates about them? Because they're related to the travel history in China. The first case, does it that the virus itself came from China? Thank you.
So this is an area of active investigation, right? Source of this outbreak, the zoonotic is what is the animal source for the initial human cases. Activity in this As you know, some of the initial cases identified in December from this cluster of pneumonia had mentioned this exposure at the seafood market, but some of those cases, some early cases didn't have exposure at that market. And so what's really important is to go back and look at those first cases, the first 50 cases or so, and say, you know, what are the exposures of those individuals? There were some investigations that took place at the market. There was some environmental sampling that was done in the market in Wuhan and in other area markets in where they found evidence of virus in the market in environmental samples, so swabs of surfaces. There's a lot of area of work of looking at the virus in animals and wildlife in the markets themselves, but also in source farms, you know, where the animals came from into those markets. As far as we are aware from the mission itself, and from beyond that, we haven't seen any evidence of the virus in the animals in Wuhan. There's one paper that mentions the pangolin, and that there's some close association with the COVID-19 virus, and that could be the intermediary host. But so there's a lot of area of work that needs to be conducted to really identify the intermediate hosts. So what are those animals that may have resulted in exposure to people who were infected there? We don't have a clear answer on that yet, but it's an area of active investigation.
And I think it's also important in terms of looking at the emergence of any disease. Disease can emerge anywhere. Coronaviruses are a global phenomenon. They exist on a global basis. It's an unlucky accident of history or nature that they emerge in a certain place. And it's really important that we ascribe blame to geographic origin, and that we look at this in terms of how we respond, how we contain, and how we stop this virus. Congo is not responsible for the emergence of Ebola, and Nigeria is not responsible for the emergence of Lassa fever, and no one is responsible for influenza pandemic. So it's really important that our narrative and our rhetoric is balanced, and that we have the discussion we need to have is, yes, we need to understand the origin of the virus so we can prevent it re-emerging, not in a way of trying to find out who's at fault and what poor animal is at fault for the virus. The animals aren't at fault for this. So I think in the language we use, stigma and origin and who's to blame is something that's become an unfortunate part of the global narrative, which is not helpful.
Thank you, and we'll go to our colleague back there.
Across Europe, these are indeed challenges in same health services, possibly less access to knowledge. Is the World Health Organization reaching out to other UN agencies or other authorities to determine if there is any spread of the virus there and to help these people?
A number of weeks ago, the Director General spoke with and wrote to the Secretary General to trigger the UN Crisis Management Policy, which resulted in the Secretary General creating a UN crisis management team, which I lead. And we have brought together all of the key agencies across the United Nations systems, the humanitarian, the scientific, the World Bank on the finance side, UNICEF on the social side. We have a core group of 12 agencies who work and interact together. And we've created subgroups on economic impact analysis. UNICEF are leading on social impact analysis. ICAO and others are leading on travel impacts, and our colleagues at OCHA, under the leadership of Mark Lowcock, have been leading at looking at potential humanitarian impacts or impacts on our humanitarian operations at country level. We've also worked very closely with resident coordinators of the UN system. They're leading at country level in support of governments with the technical support of WHO. So yes, equally there's a supply chain subgroup as part of the TMT, which is WFP working with UNICEF and WHO looking at supply chains, not only for medical equipment, but for food supplies, for food programs, so that global supply chains for many things are being managed. We've also integrated a lot of our risk communication work across the UN system with UNICEF. So I would say that the UN has really come together very significantly for a one UN response, and certainly vulnerable populations, particularly those people living in conflict, refugees and migrants in particular, are at the center of our concerns. And Dr. Tedros has said this consistently. We are concerned for populations that are in zones of fragility and conflict, particularly those people who don't have access to essential health services. They lie very exposed, but they're also very exposed to cholera. They're very exposed to measles. They're very exposed to many other pathogens, and we have a huge responsibility not only to prevent COVID-19 affecting those populations, but to also serve them with the basic life-saving interventions that they need. So I would argue the UN has come together quite well on this.
Yeah, maybe just to add one, Mike had already said everything. And we also expect each and every country to take care of refugees and migrants in their borders. And they should not leave anyone behind, because any one case can trigger a fire, actually spark a fire. So that's why each country should also be responsible and take care of refugees and migrants within its border.
Thank you very much for these comments. And before we go on the line, we'll take one more question from the room from our colleague from Iran.
I'm Badi Akshin from Iran International TV. Dear doctors, we understood that as early as next week you're going to send a delegation to Iran. I was wondering what would be the mission of this delegation and who would be participating in the mission?
Yes, we are sending a team. In fact, the team would be there by now, but there are severe issues with getting flights and access to Iran right now. And we thank the governments of UAE and other governments who are facilitating the process of not only getting teams, but getting medical supplies and other important items. So yes, the team will be multidisciplinary. It will contain epidemiologists, clinicians, and prevention and control professionals. And we have many countries. At the moment, WHO has small teams in 18 priority countries in the African region. We are sending teams to many countries in the Eastern Mediterranean region, including Afghanistan, Iraq. And our regional office for the Americas continues to support preparedness across the Americas and support our colleagues in Brazil and obviously now in Mexico. Our job is to be ready to provide technical advice and operational support to any of our member states who request it or require it. But that is placing a lot of pressure on our systems too, as this epidemic involves more and more countries.
And so one more to add to what Mike said, the United Arab Emirates is helping on this, and we have discussed with United Arab Emirates and hope on Sunday earliest, and if not by Monday, we should have the people on the ground. And I would like to appreciate the solidarity coming from UAE. Thank you.
Thank you. And with this, we go online. I would like to first call on the colleague from the Forbes magazine. Can you hear us? One more time, calling out to the colleague from the... Oh, here you go.
Hi, this is Wolfette Waco from my question is, in continued spread and growth of the virus, how much closer or are we any closer to declaring of this epidemic?
A pandemic is a unique situation in which we believe that all citizens on the planet will likely be We could say that said in previous press conferences, if this was influenza, probably have pandemic by now. But what we've seen that with containment measures, with robust public health response, the course of this epidemic or these multiple epidemics can be significantly altered. And to declare a pandemic, it is unhelpful to do that when you're still trying to contain a disease. A pandemic is also a word that may be attractive at a global level to describe an event, but it's not necessarily so if you're one of the 2 billion people living in countries with weaker health systems, because what's in that sense you're accepting, as I said to my colleague from Mexico, is that you now are entering a phase of mitigation, and that you're giving up on the possibility of containing and slowing down the virus. So pandemic as a colloquial term, we've seen the pandemic of obesity or the pandemic of HIV or all of these words that are used. We want to move beyond colloquial terms. If we say there's a pandemic of coronavirus, we're essentially accepting that every human on the planet will be exposed to that virus. The data does not support that as yet. And China have clearly shown that that's not necessarily the natural outcome of this event. If we take action, if we move quickly, if we do the things we need to do, that does not need to be the history of this event. But if we don't take action, if we don't move, if we don't prepare, if we don't get ready, that may be a future that we have to experience and we have to endure. So the future of this epidemic is not in the hands of the virus. A lot of the future of this epidemic is in the hands of ourselves. And those countries who've taken control, who've taken responsibility, have clearly shown that a lot can be done to stop this virus.
Thank you. With this, we move to Marianne Benitez from Hong Kong. Please introduce your station, please.
Hi, thank you. I'd like to ask Dr. Tedros or Dr. Ryan about this Hong Kong's move dogs, pet dogs. A dog has been found to have weak positive to coronavirus, and they're making sure, that these pets would be taken care of by the AFCD and treated if ever, it shows symptoms. Or there is also a possibility that it's environmental contamination. The other thing is the mask again, all Japan, Korea are all running out of stock. So what's the WHO doing about it? Thank you.
I will leave the question on man's best friend to, but on the issue of masks and other protective equipment, yes, there are some restrictions. What we're, as I said, our primary concern here, our front, they have the equipment they need to do the material that's needed, and that is under significant pressure. It is inappropriate for that type of material to be used in a general public circumstance. Those countries who are, and many people are, wearing the normal surgical masks, that is something that WHO has been clear on in the past. Wearing a mask can prevent you wearing the mask from giving the disease to someone else. There are limits to how a mask can protect you from being infected, and we've said that the most important thing everyone can do is wash your hands, keep your hands away from your face, observe very precise hygiene. Tedros, I think, has just been through the list of things that you absolutely need to do. And having said that, we do not criticize people who wear masks. People do what they feel is necessary to protect themselves. But the not having a mask, and again, it's important, not having a mask does not necessarily put you at any increase of contracting this disease. Keep your hands clean, observe hygiene. That is the most effective thing to do. We are disappointed that we're not able to guarantee proper protective equipment for all healthcare workers, and we're working with many countries and providers to ensure that we prioritize healthcare workers for the most important protective equipment. Maria, on
Yeah, with
dogs.
regards, thanks, Mike. With regards to the results from Hong Kong, so there was the dog in Hong Kong that tested weekly positive for COVID-19. So we're working with authorities in Hong Kong and scientists in Hong Kong who are testing these animals, the dog, and to understand these results and to understand where or if the dog was actually infected or if the dog picked this up from a contaminated surface, for example. And so we're working with them to understand the results, understand what further testing they're doing, and how they're going to care for these animals. So we'll have to get back to you on some actual answers on that. Thanks.
Thank you both. And now I'd like to call on Helen Branswell from Stat News, please.
Hi, thanks very much for taking my question. I was hoping you could explain when you think WHO would, what would it take for WHO to say, okay, containment isn't working, focus your attention. Because it's a huge list to ask countries to try to find and mop and put out every chain of transmission, and there are opportunity costs of trying to do that.
Yeah. Hi, Helen. No, and there is always a trade-off in these two approaches, and we had exactly the same issues when it came to Ebola. Many people said, well, this disease is endemic now, trying to put the effort into containing or contact tracing, we should just accept and try and save lives and develop a vaccine and use the vaccine. There are always this question, and it's a rational question to ask, and that's a decision we need to make collectively as a global community. What is clear is that countries that have focused in on containment and have done that, they have managed to achieve much. What containment is also doing is slowing down the virus. And we've already seen in countries, and quite sophisticated countries, who've had a rapid rise in cases in the last week, having a trouble coping with the clinical caseloads. We need to keep this virus slowed down because health systems around the world, and I mean north and south, are just not ready. So containment isn't just a concept of interrupting transmission and hoping to put the virus back in nature. Containment is a way of slowing down this virus so health systems can cope around the world if they receive this virus. And our determination right now is that health systems around the world are not ready and need to be better prepared to absorb the impact of the virus. And that's why our risk assessment today is looking at the risk of spread has clearly increased, but the risk of impact has also increased because of what we observe in health systems around the world. As Dr. Tedros has said, it's time to prepare, it's time to get ready, it is time to act. And people need to take a reality check now and read all of government, all of society approach to this, and maybe we need to maybe stop asking ourselves the questions about is it a pandemic, is it not, is it containment, is it mitigation. We're having very good discussions around that. What it is time to act.
Yeah. Add to that to say that yes, it is a lot to ask, people to identify all of the cases and to contain, but we have examples in several countries where this has worked. And that, excuse me, is important to remember. It's not just, we are seeing very positive results, very positive trends in China, which has been incredible in its management of this outbreak. But we have seen successes in other countries as well. You look at Singapore, you look at the cases that they've had, they're now seeing a rapid decline in cases. You see what happened in Nepal, transmission there. You're seeing what's happened in Vietnam, where there was some cases. These are of where countries have been succeeding this. But the point is that the earlier we act, and it's been repeatedly said, the earlier we act and how robustly we act in cases will determine if you're dealing with a number of cases, one case, or so. It is about a robust and aggressive response very, very quickly.
Yeah, thank you. By the way, it has been said, but just would like to add one thing. There are now 46 cases. As I said yesterday, 8 of them have not reported for the last 2 weeks. So in addition to that, out of the 46 countries have reported only 1 case, half of them. And then a good number of them from the 23, actually have reported less than cases. How can you tell these countries that abandon containment and move into mitigation when they can mitigate it, when they can contain it? So it varies from one country to the other. We don't need one-size-fits-all solution. And when you abandon containment, move into mitigation, you're actually undermining something that you can do when containment is possible. So what we're saying is, we don't need this dichotomy of either or. Mm-hmm. We need to have all the strategies triggered. We need to start from containing aggressive containment while preparing for any eventualities and using those strategies to also be triggered when we want them. So we don't need to have either or. Whatever we have now, it doesn't dictate that we move into mitigation alone. It will be a big mistake, a big mistake. Then I will give you the other angle. 46 countries, but 4,500 cases, spread over 46 countries. We're talking about the population size of this, the rest of the world other than China is how many? 6 billion. 4,500 cases. Why are we surrender when we have 500 cases in the rest of the world? And when these are scattered over 46 countries. But please don't mistake me. I'm not saying this disease is not serious. It's serious, it's dangerous, but at the same time, there is still a window of opportunity, although it's narrowing more and more by the day, and where all the strategies we use, starting from containment, can actually work. So let's not really focus on dichotomy. Let's use a comprehensive approach. And my good friend Tony Fauci said the what approach. You can remind me, if anyone can remind me. It's a very
quick share, right? Don't know why I am doing this. Sometimes I want to leave.
Now lunch. Now lunch. Now lunch. Now lunch.
Please subscribe if you are new here and you have on the road to 151,000 subscribers. We're almost there, guys, so make sure you smash that subscribe button right now and join the fam. And also, guys, make sure you have your notification notified every time I upload a video. Thank you. What's going on, you guys? And welcome back to another video, and I feel much better today, so I'm ready to start this. And I want to start by saying this. Trap Town. I know you want to. I officially declare war on the Trap Town channel. It's over, boys. Time to throw in the towel before it gets ugly. That's right, guys. I officially declare war on the Trap Town channels as they have still Regardless of my many warnings, they have still commented on my videos. And I'm going to read some of those comments to you today, and you can see exactly what they're saying. So this comment was by TraptownNCS.h, which is one that's been like mostly harassing me lately.
How dare you talk about me? If you make another one about me, I'll find you and make sure you regret it.
Oh yeah? What are you going to do about it, bitch? I'm making another video right now, bitch. What are you gonna do? Let's dance, boy. Let's dance. Let's do a little jiggy, man. Yippee-yi-yay, motherfucker! And some of you guys replying to them is actually really funny. You guys are hilarious. Thank you for having my back. Drunk Comrade comes back with a get nay-nayed on. Yeah, you tell him, Drunk Comrade. Mono Outdoors replies, shut the fuck up. And UWU the OWO? I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry, guys. Replies with a you wish, and Two Step Entertainment finishes him off with a good old fuck you, Trap Town. Yeah, get him, guys, get him. Then we got another comment from the same channel, the same Trap Town NCS.h, and they said this.
I will find you.
To which Drunk Comrade replies with a, it's sad that you're trying to look creepy, but you look fake. Ooh, yeah, get him, boy, get him. By the way, still get nay-nayed on. Drunk Comrade, I can say with 100% honesty that you did, in fact, nay-nay on him. To which KJ5 responds, frick you. Yeah, get him, KJ5, get him. And Mono Outdoors responds by saying, you are actually stupid. Couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. But that's not all. We got some comments from the original Trap Town NCS. And they said this, awesome video. Love Hog Animation responds, you fake. That's right, Hog Animation. Put him in his place, man. But then here comes along a demonic, satanic Trap Town, known as Trap Town 666.
I'm not a bot, not a human, but a creature. And I will come to you and find you.
Bring it on, pussycat. I'll teach you how to dance. And this is where we got even more comments from a whole bunch of different Trap Towns, such as Trap Town From Hell, which is a new one altogether, Trap Town 666, and Trap Town NCS.
All bow down to Trap Town NCS.h.
To which Chloe Anime Fan comes in and finishes them all off with a, no, you're not the boss of us. Go away. No, shut up and leave us alone. And finally, nope. And then we got another comment, guys, from Trap Town. And they said,
we don't want a war. But if that's what you want, that's what you shall get.
Bring it on, bitches. And then Trap Town NCS comes back with another comment, and they said,
we will take over.
To which Chloe Anime Fan comes back again and says, no, you won't. Well said, Chloe. Well said. But then we get another comment from Trap Town NCS again. But this time it's a little weird because they just seem to have like multiple personality disorder. Because this time they said,
I lied. Keep up the good work. Want to be YouTube friends?
all right, listen up, you little fuck. I ain't your friend. I ain't your boyfriend. In fact, from now on, I'm your daddy. From now on, all you Trap Town channels, you can call me daddy. And then just when you thought it was all over, Trap Town RNR comes along and drops this.
Keep it up. Looking forward to more videos from you. Don't stop. Would you like to be YouTube friends?
To which Two Step Entertainment comes back with a fuck off. And Anime High Man says fuck off also. And Lloyd Manabat says bullshit. You almost caught me out on that one, Lloyda. And then we get another comment again from Trap Town RNR again. This is like one of their new ones, guys. Trap Down RNR. Watch out for that one. Because they said this.
Good video. Keep it up. Would you like to be YouTube friends?
I told you, boy. You're to call me daddy from now on. Do I make myself clear? But that's okay, because Patricia Lynn comes in and hits him with a fuck off, asshole. He doesn't want to be your friend. And then Eli Foxy says, yeah, you just want to hack people. And Drunk Comrade comes back again and says, wow, more. But that's not all. Trap Town RNR doesn't give up that easily because they came back again and they said this.
Lovely content. Keep it up. Would you like to be YouTube friends?
To which Jesus Hernandez responds, you're done. Anime High Man says, stop scamming people. And then Lloyd Amanabeth says, stop it, nigga. God damn it, Lloyd. You trying to trick me into saying the N-word on YouTube so I get canceled? But that is the end of that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash a like on it. Let's see if we can go for 5 billion likes on this video. I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and thank you for all the love and support you guys have been giving me. It's been great, and all the links to my social media are in the description, so if you haven't added me on them, go and do that. Links are in the description to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even Snapchat. And thank you guys for watching. Remember the most important thing, chase your dreams, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoy my video, like, subscribe. And I'll be on this journey. So hit subscribe. Bam. You have on that way you get I uploaded. Thank you. Well, what's going on, you guys? And I just wanted to make it kind of simple. I basically just wanted to introduce my almost 800 new subscribers this week alone, just because of the town thing that's been going on lately. To make it kind of simple, because I'm not feeling too good today, to be honest. Hard for me to be talking to you guys right now, but yeah, I'm not feeling too good. I may have contracted or something, so I don't know. I hope not, but you just don't know, guys. You just don't know. But I'll be okay, guys. I'll pay tomorrow, so don't. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself to you new fans who are here and have been giving me a lot of support the last week over these videos, which you guys seem to really be enjoying. Like, it's crazy. I haven't had growth like this on my channel in a long, and I mean, hi, my name's Mike. Good to meet you. I've been doing videos for very my fans who are here. Been doing the main things I do on my channel, those horror videos and creepy videos, and scare stuff. I guess I just kind of lost my way on YouTube, and I'm trying to rebuild myself. I've been doing it for about a year now, trying to get back into it. And this has been like, I've been every single day this year. Since 2020, it was my New Year's resolution to start posting daily again. And I've been doing it no matter how hard it gets. I've been getting back into this YouTube to grow. I've seen the growth, but it's been like a little demotivating here and there with like the scary videos aren't doing so well like they used to. I mean, I have my regular guys here who are always here for every video, but it's like hit 500 subscribers lately, and not views. They only hit like 500 views, and then they peak at that, and that's it. They just So I was looking to kind of change up my content a little bit, and I've really been enjoying this whole trap town thing. I actually wasn't intending for it to start like this. I was just making kind of a rant video the first time I talked about them, because they were spamming the hell out of my channel. Like every single video I was uploading, they were commenting like 3 or 4 times on my videos, and it got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna just make a video about this, and it blew up. You guys literally blew it up, and you guys were coming here. I have like something like 700 comments, 800 comments on that video, the first video I made, which is insane. I haven't seen engagement like that in years on YouTube, but this has been growing so much. Like it's been kind of fun actually. Like I forgot what this was all about. Like I actually hated Trap Town at one point, but now I kind of enjoy it. It's like a fun little series that's going on, and this is kind of the thing I used to enjoy back in the day. It actually takes me back way before I even started scary videos, like the Dylan the Hacker days, um, which is pretty much how I got my first channel growth to like 15,000 subscribers. And it's kind of like that. I feel like I'm involved in something now because of all of you guys joining and talking about the trap town and the threats that they've been giving me. It's actually been really fun now, and I'm definitely going to make more videos on it because you guys seem to be enjoying it. Even like my regular viewers seem to be enjoying this series and are saying that they're like invested in it and they're excited to find out what's going to happen next. So it's pretty fun, and it's fun for me too because I don't know what's going to happen next. I want to see where this. Where this is going, but we do have a little good news though. Some of the trap towns have actually been terminated. Word on the street is that some of them are terminated. They've been terminated by YouTube, so that's good. That's good, guys. It means what we're doing is right. We're already winning this war, and I haven't even declared war properly yet. So I'm really happy to be cleaning up this site. There's a lot of shit on this site, guys. There's a lot of shit on this site that needs cleaning up, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of introduce myself. I'm Mike. Hey, how are ya? I just make videos. Hey, can be ranging from anything to like mostly scary stuff though. But I have been thinking about doing some different types of videos since the scary videos just don't do as well as they used to. I kind of want to branch out and try some other things, which I've got some really good ideas actually, which I thought might be interesting even for me. Like this is something I'm going to enjoy doing, but I'm not going to tell you right now. You're just going to have to wait and see. But mainly this video was just to say thank you and welcome to all you new guys, and thank you for all the comments and the likes and everything. It's really, it's really motivational to see this because it does start to kick you down when your channel just does not grow anymore. It's kind of flatlined, and you're getting the same regular viewers, but there's no growth, And as a YouTuber, you naturally want to grow. When you're not growing, you're kind of kick down more and more and more. So, for all you guys who have been liking the videos and commenting on them and sharing them, it's even you guys who have been making videos in response to mine and giving me shout outs and stuff like that. It's been insane, and it's glad that I didn't stop. I'm glad it didn't let it tear me down because I had a feeling that 2020 is going to be a good year for me on YouTube. As long as I just keep going, no matter what, I'm just going to keep uploading every single day and see where it goes. And so far, it seems to be paying off just at the right time, too, because I was starting to get like a little demotivated, I guess. So this all happened at the right time, and I'm really glad that I carried on and I didn't give up. So thank you guys for everything. It really means a lot to me, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying the videos. But yeah, like I said, guys, I'm definitely going to be looking into the trap house thing more. In fact, there's some other ones which I'm going to be talking about soon. And yeah, it's going to be pretty epic, guys. I don't know how many of these guys were planning on taking on, but god damn it, we're going to win this war. We're going to win. I think I've pretty much said everything I want to say, but thank you guys for all the love and support that you guys have been giving me. And to my OG members of this channel, thank you guys for sticking by my side and not abandoning me. It really means a lot to me, so thanks a lot for giving me a second chance to be a YouTuber. It really does mean a lot to me. But I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. And remember the most important thing, guys, I love you. Chase your dreams. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoy my videos and my channel more, you can go over to my Patreon. Link is in the description. I would really appreciate any help you guys have to offer. And over there, as you can see, we have the different boards. Now, I would really
Yeah, more they want to do. I want to get a lot more, but they never came on. Never turned up.
And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss any future. Guys, go follow me on all my stuff in the description.
Didn't George say you to come in later? No, maybe he forgot. He said, I've been but he said the reason why she did that because she's so nice. He said, his wife had some friends of his. Was getting to her, and that's why he did this.
New Zealand will never miss an Aussie pilot. More flights to Australia than any other airline.
52.
What?
Some
52?
She's 52. This was last year, and it's the youngest ever.
Probably the same drivers
Got motor neurone disease, so what she did was she recorded songs for her voice, and she died on February the 9th in hospital, motor neurone.
and get 30% off rides for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's why I did.
Same, but better.
You know,
She's 2 on stage 4 and 5. She must have been in there late. are you doing? Hey? You get mum to cut your toenails. I mean it.